Tired of your old kitchen or bathroom? Upgrade to the home of your dreams with Manny and Courtney from CMK Construction. CMK Construction is Tampa's award-winning kitchen and bath leader for over 20 years. Right now, save $3,000 on a new kitchen and $2,000 on a new bathroom. And take advantage of our no money down and no interest financing until 2026. Imagine, design, build.
Streaming from the Tampa Bay 28 Weather Center in Studio A. This is Dennis Phillips Live Plus. Brought to you by CMK Construction, crafting Tampa's most exquisite bathrooms and kitchens.
How you doing, everybody? It is a Wednesday night edition of DPL, and on Wednesday night, it is DPL Plus. Welcome back to the folks watching us on broadcast TV, the Spot 66.1. Last night, the Bolts were on, and anytime the Bolts are on, they will be the priority on that channel. So there will be no DPL, at least on broadcast, but it will be on streaming and on social as always. Remember, the best way to experience the show is to take part on social. I pointed over here because this is my social media computer where I see your comments. This over here is my computer where I show stuff, including I have a Zoom up right now, which is just me on there. We'll get into that in just a minute. And then right here is the inner workings of what we actually broadcast. So this is truly a one-man band. Back in the day, you know, I've been doing this TV thing for a long time. And back when I first started, they had a thing called a one-man band. Now it's called an MMJ, a multimedia journalist. But back in the day, it was called a one-man band. And you literally went out and did everything. You brought your own equipment, you did your own stand-ups, you did everything, you went back, you edited. Matter of fact, my first TV job, WBOC, back in Salisbury, Maryland, right? Back in the day, I was the chief meteorologist on the 4, the 5, the 6, the 7, and the 11 o'clock newscast. And I was the night beat reporter who went out and turned a package every night between 7 o'clock and 10 o'clock. And so, yeah, and many times you were a one-man band where you had to go out and shoot your own stuff. And this was back in the day when you had these giant cameras and these giant decks that you had hanging off with 3/4-inch tapes. Now, no lie, now a lot of times reporters are using iPhones for their video. And the quality is probably way superior with an iPhone than it ever was with those decks and cameras that we had. But I digress. As I was saying, I don't know what I was saying, but you can watch us on, the best way to watch us is on TV, 66.1 OTA on over the air with an antenna, the Spot, or Spectrum 17, Frontier 23, Wow TV, DirecTV 66, and hopefully some other places as well. And then follow along right here. And we have got Dominique, how you doing? So anyway, I was mentioning the whole Zoom thing. So if you were here last night, you may have noticed that we had someone here who was actually an anchor at a station in Bermuda. And her name is Diane Brewer. And I messaged her later and said, you know, hey, Diane, do you think you could come on with us tomorrow if conditions warrant that you can, if you're not working or if there's power or whatever? Well, I literally just got an email from her a couple of minutes ago because I have a Zoom running. And I said, hey, if you have a chance, come on and tell us what conditions are like in Bermuda. Well, she said she just got home. The power is out, but her generator is up and running, and but they have no internet. So she's not, and she, maybe it'll come and go, but if so, then maybe we'll be able to get her. But ultimately, they are hunkering down in Bermuda as they are expecting a hurricane with 100-mile-an-hour winds coming up in about 6 hours from now. So greetings from Manatee County. Jan, how you doing? Jason, good to see you. Debbie in Zephyr Hills. Parrish checking in with Lauren. Nancy, nice to see you. Stephen in Clearwater. We've got Barbie in Clearwater. New York's in the house with Judy. I'm surprised you're not watching your boys, your Yankees. Last I checked, it was 2-2 going into the fifth, I believe. I have not checked that in a couple of minutes. Milburn's in the house with Kelly. Maya, how you doing? Good to see you. Winter Haven with Sheila. So lots of folks here. Crazy waves in Hilton Head right now, Mima says. And yeah, they're definitely getting some wind and some waves over there as well. We're going to be talking about that coming up in the upcoming minutes. We have Safety Harbors in the house with Donna, Maine. Bonnie from Maine is here. Dawn, Ann, and Janice says, lost the ability to watch us on Xfinity channel 438. Now that is interesting. And I will have to check with the powers that be. See, you guys are the key to everything. Because if you're not watching the show on TV, you can complain. You can pick up the phone. You can send emails, not to us, not to our assignment desk, to those cable providers, to those internet providers and say, hey, where's my DPL? Where's my Lightning games? And you have the ability to make that happen. You really do. I mean, I was told through the grapevine that there's one that's carrying now that originally was not. And they're doing so because there was a public outcry that they wanted their Lightning DPL. No, they wanted their Lightning games. DPL just came along with it. How you doing, Evelyn and LaCanto? Good to see you as well. Chris in Apollo Beach, Spring Hill's in the house, Naples. So lots and lots of folks here. All right, so here's what we're going to do. Let's jump in quick and give you the latest from the Hurricane Center. All right, talking about what's happening with Imelda, those blasted eye stones. Jules wants to know where her religious programming is. Yes, the days of religious programming, alas, have ended. And if you're wondering what the heck is he talking about, back when this show first started in July, Spectrum on their cable guide said, Dennis Phillips Live, religious and inspirational programming. Wrong. Now, they still spell meteorologist wrong, and they're spelling Phillips wrong. But at least it's on air. So Spectrum, you've had like 2 months now to get that corrected. I don't know. Don't know why it hasn't been, but nevertheless, at least we're on, so I guess I shouldn't complain. Let's get back to, and it's not Magnum PI, which for whatever reason on Fridays at 7:30 when we do have DPL, it still says Magnum PI. Betty in Orlando, how you doing? Linda in Dunedin. All right, so here's the latest. Let's see if we have got an update yet. I don't think the 8 o'clock update has come in quite yet. Nope, still 5 o'clock. So the 5 o'clock update is still in, and obviously, we can look at the key messages here. Imelda is expected to bring damaging hurricane-force winds and large and damaging waves to Bermuda when it passes near or over the island late tonight into early Thursday. Significant hurricane-force gusts are likely across Bermuda even after the center passes. Heavy rain could cause flash flooding across Bermuda tonight. Swells and high surf from Imelda are expected to produce dangerous marine conditions and rip currents along much of the east coast of the United States and the western Atlantic during the next several days. And there, right there is the track. We can go ahead and actually take our weather computer. Well, I'll grab that in a second. But, Ren, that is a good question about the rule number 7 and Lightning collab. Okay, so I cannot say a lot about it. I don't think I'm allowed to comment, but let's just say that there were certain sponsors that I don't work for that there was kind of a conflict going on, apparently. That's all I know. That's all I can say without getting in trouble. But apparently, we were all ready to roll, and then another sponsor's like, wait a minute, who is this guy? And what's going on with this? And all of a sudden, it's kind of on hold. So we'll see. When I know, you'll know. That's all I can say. All right. Speaking in code, if you know, you know. Oh, by the way, one more quick update, then we're going to take a break. So I don't know if you guys know this, but you probably know I have a daughter that plays softball and she likes to perform. You may have heard once or a million times, Ryan, my daughter Ryan, right? Well, anyway, funny story. So she was playing travel ball and decided to go to rec because travel takes up a lot of weekend time and she can't be in performances and drama stuff, which she really, truly loves, and I think that's her calling. But anyway, she had her second game tonight. She's not a pitcher. Ryan is not a pitcher. She thinks she is. She can be whatever she wants to, but she's not really a pitcher, or at least she hasn't been. So she pitched one game and she hit 5 people. True story, hit 5 people in 1 inning. But you know what? The one defining quality about my daughter, she does not give up, ever. It is just, she just pushes harder and harder and harder. So anyway, there's this app called Game Changer. You may be familiar with it. If you're not, it is a game changer. Because parents who have to work at night or parents who miss their kid's game can follow along because people are updating it and they're actually showing the video. So, believe it or not, Ryan was pitching in the 3rd inning, and she struck out 2 out of 3 people. No runs, no hits, 3 up, 3 down. And now as I'm looking in the 4th inning, there's lots of walks to be had. So, but you know what? That's okay, because she had 3 up and 3 down with 2 strikeouts. And last I checked, she has not hit anyone yet. So that is progress. From hitting 5 girls in 1 inning to hitting no one in 1 1/3 so far, that's pretty good. So anyway, all right, when we come back, we're going to take a look at our increasing rain chances. We're going to take a look at the updated NHC track, and we're going to talk about whatever it is that we come up with. That's in 90 seconds as DPL continues. Okay, so, yeah, Ren, look, I don't think I'm allowed to say, but let's just say it was happening, and then all of a sudden, you get corporate sponsorship involved, and everything just kind of changes. It's just kind of what happened. And that's life. As life as we know it, right? That is just life. So, if you message me, I will tell you what big company it was, but I won't say it on here. Southbury, Connecticut. How you doing, David? Good to see you. Susie with about Ryan. Never be consistent. Keep him guessing. Yes, I agree with you 100%. That is exactly the way she should look at it. But anyway, I'm serious. She had 2 out of 3 strikeouts, and she got the only hit on their team so far, so she's doing okay. I'm very happy. But yeah. Now it's the wheels are falling off. so isn't that pitching for you? Isn't it? That's pitching for you. All right. Dennis, how you doing? Good to see you. Jason, blah, 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 salsa, blah, blah, where's the guac weather guy? Jason knows. Jason knows. All right, we're back in 7 seconds, and we will get into weather now, okay? Pass balls. Oh, boy, it's getting ugly. Okay, anyway, welcome back to Dennis Phillips Live. Let's jump into some weather, shall we? We've done enough chit-chat. She is fearless, Kelly. She is. All right, so there's a look at satellite, radar rather. So we are looking at a kind of an interesting pattern. A northeast flow is going to be pretty persistent for the next several days, and that is going to bring a large portion of rain to the East Coast. As Imelda pulls away and high pressures west of Imelda, we're going to have kind of a wind tunnel effect, if you will. And that wind tunnel effect will give us very breezy conditions with small craft advisories. Yes, you can put up your decorations, Tammy. You absolutely should. Jules, you're right. 1 inning's all she got, all Ks, but anything past 1 inning, the wheels fall off. It's a true story. Anyway, I'm just looking, walk, pass ball, walk. Anyway, highs tomorrow, or highs today rather, hit 91 in Tampa, 90 Plant City, upper 80s along the coast. Tampa right now, 85. Not all that breezy. Northwest winds at 10. I mean, it's comfortable. It's actually really nice out there. Beautiful shot. Hey, you got USF colors there over at Ray J. 91 the high, the morning low dropped down to 76. Okay. East to west flow, most of the showers on the East Coast. Now, I'm going to tell you, the models are all in on rain coverage, and it's obviously just way more than it needs to be. That model data is wrong. It just is. So at this point, what it's telling me is that more moisture is to the south, and it is, okay? So the better rain chances will be to the south, and then everything kind of pushes west. But let's be honest, when we're looking at radar and there's nothing out there, this is about as bust of a model as you'll ever see, because it is way, way off base. But tomorrow it gets a little bit more accurate. So there is the rain potentially on the East Coast tomorrow with an east to west flow. That's going to bring some showers west across the area. And that is reasonable. So from Thursday through Sunday, and someone just said that the Weather Channel said the East Coast is going to get hammered. Not so much, but they are going to have a much better chance of rain. There's going to be more moisture on the East Coast. You got that east to northeast flow, and that's where the bulk of the rain is going to be, the heaviest rain by far. And if you look at overall rainfall totals, it's going to show that, and I'll show you that in just a second. But everything moves from east to west. More rain on the East Coast, less rain on the West Coast, which is a shame because we really do need the rain in our area. We've been really, really dry of late. So look at what we're showing here. Look at Thursday, look at Friday and Saturday, and even into Sunday. The yellow and the darker green is on the east side of the state. So that's where the best rain chances will be. The farther west you are, the less. But there's still going to be some rain out there. Is this the kind of pattern that causes you to cancel your outdoor plans? It is not. It is not. All right? You'll be dodging some scattered afternoon showers. That's about it. A little more cloud cover keeps highs in the mid to upper 80s. All right. There is a look at Imelda, what's left of Umberto, and you see that big old blob in the east central Atlantic, which is not going to bother anybody. Latest check with Imelda, moving east-northeast at 22 miles an hour, pretty quick. And again, the winds are 100 miles an hour, maximum sustained winds. Now, you guys know, and how many times have I said this? And I'm going to go ahead and actually look at the graphic on this, because just because you see 100-mile-an-hour winds, that means probably in about a 5 or 10 mile area. That's it. And as I look here, let me see. Hurricane force winds extend. How far out from the center? Let's see. It's not even showing it in the advisory. So literally not even showing how far out they extend. But it does say that the airport in Bermuda recently had a sustained wind of 43 and a gust of 66. So that's interesting that it literally does not say how far out hurricane force winds extend. But I will guarantee you it ain't very far, all right? So it would have to be a direct landfall for them to get 100-mile-an-hour winds. Not saying that it won't be, because when you look at the forecast track, here it is. If I zoom in to where that island is, let me go ahead and zoom. Go ahead and I'll edit this graphic so I kind of show you. Yeah, see, look. So there's the island and there's the track. So this far out, you're not going to see much of a difference. You're not going to see a big change. And then it goes way up there as a non-tropical storm. But this is going to go over the island of Bermuda with a small area of winds around 100 miles an hour, but it will not be what we would call a widespread area of that kind of wind. But they're still going to get some serious wind. There's our 7-day. Oh, my heavens, Jason. I got a story about that. There's the 7-day. Rain chances increase later on, especially in the eastern and central sections of our viewing area, but from west as well. I'm going to briefly, Jason just mentioned something about, remember when the Weather Channel was talking about the COVID cane? Literally, they had a COVID cane thing. And I got on social media and just blasted it. It was just, on so many levels, I thought it was wrong. And I remember getting an email from the wife of a producer at the Weather Channel who I think came up with that idea. And she was giving me grief. How come you're calling out this person? I'm like, because it's stupid. Well, you know, you're supposed to support your colleagues. No, not when they're being stupid. And calling something a COVID cane was the most ludicrous thing I think I've ever heard in the history of broadcasting weather. I truly do. And I stand by that statement. And then from the next storm, they no longer did it. But crazy times, right? All right, so anyway, we'll be back in 90 seconds, and we'll take a closer look at what our long-range models look at for potential development in the Caribbean or the Gulf as DPL continues. Break 2. Thank you, Leisha. Thank you. I do not have cameras on Bermuda. I think we do have access to them, but I do not have that hooked up. I should. I absolutely should. So the Yankees game last I checked was 3-3. So they each scored a run. And it is bottom 6. So the Red Sox, let's see, how did they score on this? Red Sox, the Yankees were up 3-2. Red Sox tied it up 3-3 in the top of the 6th with a home run. So they are now 3-3 going in. They're in the bottom of the 6th. The Yankees have 1 runner on first and 1 out. So that is where they are. All right. All right. So we're going to continue. Let's go ahead and hold on. Let me look at that Zoom real quick and make sure. No, it's still just me. Okay. Because I was curious to see if maybe Diane came on, but she's still out of power, I guess. All right. Let's go back and look at some models. And we'll be back in 15 seconds. Okay. Let's call that up. All right. Bartow's in the house. All right, we are back in. I still have another break, right? 3, 2. How you doing, everybody? Welcome back to Dennis Phillips Live. I was just asking the folks on social if I have another break. I think I still have one more break, right? I think I do. Bill, how you doing? Good to see you. All right. So this is a look at, we're going to jump into these pretty quickly because I'm heavy, as always. So there's a look at what October usually brings in the tropics. Development in the northern and western Caribbean, fronts come down, and whatever is can pop this way. It happens quite often, all right? So let's look at what the models are showing. Here's the GFS ensembles, all right? GFS ensembles. Remember, the ensembles are about 50 individual runs of the model with tweaking little different things to give you different end results. Hopefully they'll be all the same, though, and then you know it's going to be really accurate, like it is with Imelda right there. But the models are showing another system coming in out of the tropical Atlantic, and that might very well be the one that I showed you that was in the middle out there, just kind of spinning out there. But they do develop this, and some of them actually develop it into a Cat 3 storm, but they all curve it. And of course they're all going to curve it because there's a lot of fronts coming down, and that's going to cause these to curve right on up to the north. But what we concern ourselves is potential development in the Caribbean. Now, there is nothing out there right now. The models continue to say maybe there will be something eventually. GFS has one going this way, another one going right through our area, another one's going this way. Nothing to worry about at this point. It doesn't even exist, but it is something the GFS is holding on to. Here is the Euro AI. Similar, very similar. Additional development out here, all of which curve, zoop, as it would with a front, right? And then potential development, but out of 50 runs, you might have 5 or 6 that are developing something, maybe 10. So still a very low threat. And this is over the next 2 weeks, guys. Next 2 weeks. And there's nothing there right now, 0. And here's the Euro, shows a similar setup. A couple of renegade development in the Caribbean, very little in the Gulf. And when we showed you this, Climate Prediction Center in the middle of the month continues to show the potential somewhere from the Pacific to the Western Caribbean development. If it's in the Pacific, it's going to go this way. If it's in the Caribbean, it could go this way or this way. It's probably a 50-50 chance of development in either of these spots. So that is by no means set in stone that we would see anything. And as you see back with the ensembles, they show the same thing. There's even more potential development in the Pacific than there is in the Caribbean or the Gulf, right? So the moral of the story is there is absolutely nothing to worry about. Zero. Might there be a little something that tries to develop out in the Bay of Campeche this weekend? Maybe, and we'll talk about that coming back with our final segment in 90 seconds. I think I had one more break, right? Was that the break I had? Because I don't even remember. All right, let's call up the GFS operational. And it does, it does. Let's reload this. You guys can't see this, but I'm going to reload this and call up the GFS and see if it does show anything. I'm going to call up two of them. I'm going to call one with the tropics as well. Okay, there we go. Two different maps. So we will take these full. Yes, Lori, we are banning all hurricanes. 100%. All right, Jules, thank you. Mary Ellen, thank you. I thought that was the last break, but I wasn't sure. My kids are talking about seeing the new Leo DiCaprio movie. We saw it this weekend, one battle after another. It's pretty good. It was really long. My son's about to go see it in 70 millimeter or so, he says. He is a film guy. He's a doctor, but he graduated USF film before he went to medical school. All right, so let's go, and we're on our last segment coming up on TV. Thank you, Denise. Bahamas will be fine this weekend. In 2, 1. Welcome back to our last segment of Dennis Phillips Live. Looks like the question is, will the Bahamas be okay this weekend? Yes, it will. Let's go ahead and show you what the operational runs are short term. We looked at the ensembles. Here's the operational runs. Here's the GFS. Okay? GFS shows, let's go ahead and just play it. All right, here we go. We're playing it. So, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. There's that system in the Pacific. Thursday, Friday, and it goes, ooh, look at that going to the southwest. Oh, my. Oh, I did not see that. Okay, so this is why you ignore the GFS long range, all right? Okay, boy, there could not be a better example. I did not look at that before I showed it. I should have. Shame on me. Okay, so, hey, there's your 540 line, by the way, Sean. The GFS has been trying to spin something up from the Caribbean for a long time, all right? Well, clearly it does. Let's go ahead and, now remember, take it with a grain of salt. Anything past 10 days is going to be wrong 98% of the time, okay? So, there's the GFS. Is that coming all the way from the, is that the one that might be the one that comes in all the way from the Atlantic. And then it develops it. Oh, look at that crazy track. It goes Caribbean, Cuba, West, Gulf, West. Oh my heavens. And then like Western Gulf. So obviously ludicrous. So if this is even remotely right on October, whatever it is, but it won't be. So end of the day, that's right there why we don't look or concern ourselves with long-range GFS, because it's wrong. All right, we'll be back tomorrow night. We'll see if the GFS is still spitting out that nonsense, and we will be talking again about Imelda. Folks in Bermuda, 100-mile-an-hour winds expected between around midnight and 3 a.m. local time. For us, rain chances on the rise later this week. East Coast, a little bit less on the West Coast. Thanks for watching. Have a great night. Okay, so we are now off a broadcast. Holy cow. Yeah, Alex. Let's ban that GFS. Holy moly, that one surprised me. I'm not going to lie. I did not see that. So, yeah, there it is. It keeps, here, I'm going to get rid of this other one because it keeps jumping back and forth. It's driving me crazy. So there it is. So you got the Pacific, and then you got, that's the 13th, the 14th, the 15th, the 16th, and then there's another one behind it. So what does this tell us? Okay, well, it tells us several things. It tells us that anybody that posts a 2-week GFS forecast is just trying to get clicks. And people who say they're not trying to get clicks are trying to get clicks. And I'll say this again. If you look at the little hashtag FB lifestyle on there, those are the people that are trying to get clicks, because that's a thing that Facebook has out there these days for monetization. If you see hashtag FB lifestyle, that's what's happening with that. And you're more than likely, anybody who's showing this graphic right here, that's what they're going to be showing, because it's ridiculous. It's wrong 98% of the time. And I'll say it again. Why would you want to show something that's wrong 98% of the time? Are you getting anything out of it? Are your viewers getting anything out of it? Is anybody getting anything out of it other than cha-ching? I would say probably not. And that just showed up because I'll be honest, I had not looked at that run, and although I would have showed it just because we're talking about it, and I'm not posting, oh no, look what might happen. What I'm saying is, look at this nonsense. The GFS is yet again, the GFS-icane, which you've heard me give it that nickname, the GFS-icane, it has a bias to develop tropical systems way out in advance, and it's going to be wrong literally 98.1% of the time. But once every blue moon, that 1.8% of the time, it's going to be right. So if you want to hang your reputation on showing something that's right 1.8% of the time, then you do you, boo, as they say. Wendy loves to say that one. That's Wendy's favorite expression. Yankees and Boston are tied at 3 in the top of the 7th. So that's it. Let's see. All right, looks like we're back. Every now and again, for whatever reason, we get, we freeze up. And I see it in red. And it showed up red there. I don't know if it's too many sources, but I got a new computer. So we have a new computer coming for this computer, and it's supposed to be here really soon. So when that new computer comes, we're going to be good to go. But I'm definitely seeing the green flashing, but it was a red flash a couple of minutes ago, and that's why we were completely frozen. You might be right, Kurt. It might be sunspots. No, it is not a Facebook thing. It is 100% this Wirecast computer, because it went to red. And red means the computer is being overtaxed, I guess. That was a GFS-icane, Alicia. Oh, yes, it was. Oh, yes, it was. Check the 18Z. All right, you know what, Jeff? I'm going to check the 18Z. Jeff just asked me to check the 18Z GFS, and that's what we're doing because we're mocking it. So if we're ridiculing something, we can go ahead and call it up again. Let's see what the GFS says. The 18Z GFS, which is even more entertaining and wrong even more than the 12Z. And I'm not picking on the GFS. I'm really not. No model is designed to be accurate that far out. I mean, the problem is not the GFS. The problem is people selling the 14-day forecast as something that's even remotely accurate. Isn't it our job as weather people, as meteorologists, as whatever, to get the weather right the best we can and to try not to spread misinformation? Well, if you're posting something and saying, hey, look, this is crazy, hey, that's nothing wrong with that. But if you're posting something and saying, oh boy, we got to look out for this, oh boy, this is something to watch out for, that's when I have an issue with you. And if it's hashtag FB lifestyle, because we know exactly what you're doing. All right, let's go ahead and look at the 18Z, as someone just said. All right, Friday, Saturday, definitely rain increasing in our area. Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. There's the Pacific hurricane. Thursday, Friday. This is the 11th. This is the 12th. Oh, look at that. It stayed. Okay. That's even better. Zoop, zoop. So yeah, that does a real little loop-to-loop thing. Oh, and look at that cold front coming in. So like it goes zoop, 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 zoop. It's like zigzag. It's like what you're supposed to do if an alligator's chasing you. That right here. If you ever wanted to know what you're supposed to do if an alligator is chasing you, this is what you do. Okay, watch what this storm does. Zoop, 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 zoop. That's what you're supposed to do. So, now Maya, you are correct. See, and this is the reason I am not completely mocking the GFS in terms of development. Because look, guys, October, this is what happens, all right? The ensembles are also showing potential development. Now, what's interesting is it looks like that one is actually probably more like this. It's not like this. It's like this. Zoop. And then it goes zoop, 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 like that. So, yes, Michael, it is quite evasive. Oh, do we have a spammer on here? Wait a minute. Hold on. Thank you, Jill. Wait a minute. Where's the spammer? I'm looking. It might have been long before where. Yeah, I don't see the spammer now. It must have been. Mine only goes a certain way up. Okay, well, someone was kidding. That's fine. All right. Anyway, there's your ensembles. There's your operational. That is where we are. So, let's recap, shall we? Rain chances increase a little bit for us throughout the rest of the work week into the weekend. Okay, let's see how Ryan's team is doing now, by the way. Because isn't that pitching for you? 3 up, 3 down, 2 strikeouts, the next inning, 16 walks, and it's just, that's sports. That's baseball for you, and softball. All right, stand by. Let's see. So her pitching line was, let me see if I can find it now. I think the game's over. Can't even find it. Is that it? Stand by. Don't mind me. Gosh, I'm not even sure. There's so many teams on here that she's on. I don't know. I can't find it. I would love to see what her pitching line was. It was probably pretty funny. Game changer family plan now. Oh, that's good. I think, are they the Bandits? Yeah, they're the Bandits. Okay, here we go. All right, so her box score was 1 inning pitched. Okay. So their first inning, right? First inning, no runs, 2 strikeouts. But her box score was 1 inning pitched, 1 hit, 5 runs, 4 walks. So in other words, it could not go any different. 3 up, 3 down the first inning. She didn't get anybody out in the next inning. That's pitching for you. So there you go. But she's 2 for 2 at the plate. So that's a plus. So the girl can hit. 2 for 2 with a run scored and a delayed steal on that. So good job, Ryan Phillips. Okay. Let's see. Anybody else? Yeah, I had Tyreek, Maya. I had Tyreek too. I'm with you. Ryan, you're correct. 1 month from today, we start putting up our Christmas lights and taking down our other stuff. What's the best app for getting local weather? I don't know. We have our Storm Shield app. That's what I use. There's a lemon in the Atlantic. See, you guys are awesome. Hold on. Let's find that lemon. Sal's talking about the lemon. So that must be the one. Well, that must be the one. Yeah. Well, go figure. That's what the GFS is showing. There it is. There it is. A tropical wave is expected to move off the coast of Africa over the next day or two. Thereafter, the wave is forecast to interact with another disturbance in the eastern tropical Atlantic, and some slow development is possible. So if you are a fan of the GFS, let's just look at it, all right? Let's just watch it. Let's just watch it develop. We're going to go from here, and we're going to hit play. Okay, so here we go. Watch it coming off the coast of Africa. There it is. There it is. There it is. It's in the islands. There it is. It's keep it up, and then it start. No, actually, that wasn't even it. Yeah, it is. That was it. That was it. Oh, this is the euro. I was going to say, wait. Now that's interesting. The euro is showing it too, but the euro doesn't develop it. Now that's rather interesting, isn't it? Let's go back and call up the tropical Atlantic, and now let's see. Okay, here we go. All right, here we go. So, oh, come on. All right, so let's look at the Atlantic. There it's coming off, right there. There it is. There you see it. There it is at the islands. Oh, it hasn't loaded yet. That's all right. We haven't loaded. That's why it wasn't showing yet. It still hasn't loaded. All right, we're there. 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 There starts the alligator chase. Look, the alligator's chasing me. Yoop, yoop, yoop. There it is. So that is what the NHC and so this is the thing now. So I guess the yellow ones are called lemons, the orange ones are called oranges, and the red ones are called apples. I don't know where that came from, but that's what I've been seeing lately. So there it is. Is the 540 line in our sights? Well, no. So look at the 540 line here. Okay. There it is in Maine next Thursday. And there it is in the UP of Michigan and Minnesota and Wisconsin on the 13th. And that's before the alligator chase. Zoop, 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 zoop. So there it is. Yeah, you know what? I'm with you, Jonathan, but I saw apples on there. They're all bloobs. You are correct, Debbie. They're all bloobs. Disney, oh, you know what? We have not done a Disney forecast over the last couple of days. I have been very remiss. Disney's going to see scattered shower next week. Well, let's look. Let's look, right? You know what? Let's just call it up just for you. Okay? We'll get rid of this one because it's hard to see the tropical one. United States. Actually, let's just do this one. Okay. OMG, it's Wix is here, or is he live somewhere? Is he on us, or is he here, or is he live on Facebook? How you doing, Leslie? All right, anyway. All right, let's go back. Here we go. Thursday, Friday morning, Friday night, Saturday morning, Saturday night, Sunday morning, Sunday night, definitely some rain on the East Coast. Monday morning, Monday night, still rain. Tuesday morning, Tuesday night, drier. Wednesday morning, Wednesday night, dry. Thursday, dry, dry, and then a front comes in on Friday. All right, so to answer, doing his own stream, got it. So to answer your question, rain through Monday off and on, and then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, no rain, and then next weekend, chance of some rain again. All right, there it is. All right, guys, well, that is it. We will be back tomorrow night. We will see if the models are still picking up on the lemon. We will see if anything in the Caribbean gets going. And unfortunately, we will be seeing how they've done in Bermuda with Imelda as that storm moves over. Oh, hockey tomorrow night. Thank you, Pat. Thank you for letting me know. So tomorrow night, we will not be on the spot. We will be here on Facebook and streaming. And that makes it easier sometimes because we don't have the commercials to do. But good. So thank you for that. See, you guys got my back. You guys got my back. That's without y'all, I'd be lost. So thank you very much. All right, guys, have a great night, and we will see you on tomorrow nights right here on Facebook and YouTube and Instagram and streaming on our next episode of Dennis Phillips Live. You guys have a good night.